You've been lied to about what makes a man powerful. They told you to hustle harder, talk louder, and know more people. Build your personal brand, stay relevant. Keep posting, keep performing, keep proving you matter. The game is rigged to keep you chasing more followers, more connections, more visibility. And while you're busy playing that game, the real players are doing something else entirely. The world won't shut up. Notifications lighting up your phone every 30 seconds. Everyone's got an opinion they need to broadcast. You've been sold the same line your whole life. Stay connected, build your network, be seen, be heard. They measure your worth by how many people know your name, how loud you can make yourself in a crowded room. The guy who walks alone, they don't get him. They think he's missing out, that something's wrong with him. Here's what they don't tell you. All that noise is keeping you weak. The most dangerous men in any room aren't working the crowd, they're the ones watching it. Their edge doesn't come from who they know or how loud they talk. It comes from somewhere most guys are too scared to go, deep inside their own heads, where it's dead quiet. This isn't about running away from the world, it's about controlling it. Chosen solitude isn't isolation, it's domination. It's the secret weapon most modern men never discover, the one that separates those who react from those who dictate terms. Let me show you why. If you're here because you're done with the noise and ready to build something real, a life with actual weight to it, hit subscribe. This is where we break down what actually works, the old principles that still separate men who lead from men who follow. Now let's get into it. Before you can tap into real power, you need to understand something critical. Loneliness and solitude are not the same thing. Most people throw these words around like they mean the same thing. They don't, they're opposites. One destroys you, the other builds you. Loneliness is poison. It's what happens when isolation gets forced on you, when you're cut off and desperate for someone, anyone, to fill the void. It eats at you. Studies link it to depression, anxiety, even heart disease. You can feel it in a stadium packed with people. It's that gnawing sense that you're on the outside looking in, that you need someone else to validate your existence. It's weakness disguised as need. Loneliness is what happens when you've got nothing inside worth sitting with. Pascal nailed it centuries ago. All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. He wasn't talking about being antisocial. He was talking about the terror most men feel when they're forced to face themselves and find nothing there. Solitude is different. It's not something that happens to you, it's something you choose. It's walking away from the chaos on your own terms to spend time with the one person who'll be there until the end. You. This isn't about hiding from people. It's about getting clear on who you are when nobody's watching. Loneliness is a wound that won't heal. Solitude is you becoming the surgeon. Here's the divide. Loneliness is believing you're not enough by yourself. Solitude is knowing you are. The modern world has programmed you to fear your own company. They've convinced men that being alone means you're broken, that you're a loser who couldn't hack it socially. You're supposed to be on all the time, performing, networking, proving your value through how many people want to be around you. That pressure creates panic. So guys, fill every silent moment with anything that'll distract them. The phone, the TV, the endless scroll, anything to avoid sitting with their own thoughts. This is the trap. When you can't handle your own company, you become a prisoner to everyone else's opinion. Marcus Aurelius saw this 2,000 years ago. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own. Think about what that does to you. When you're terrified of being alone, you'll take any company you can get, shallow friendships that drain you, relationships built on nothing. You'll make decisions based on what other people think instead of what you know is right. Your compass becomes everyone else's approval. Want your power back? Start with silence. Choosing solitude isn't admitting defeat. It's an act of self-respect. It's saying your thoughts matter, that your inner world is worth exploring, that your peace is more valuable than their applause. Real strength starts the moment you stop running from yourself. When you embrace the quiet instead of fearing it. When you realize that in solitude, you're not alone, you're in the best company you'll ever find. In today's world, deep work is dying, and that makes it more valuable than ever. Your professional life is a war zone of distraction. Emails bombing your inbox, meetings that could have been nothing, Slack messages, texts, notifications, a never-ending assault on your attention. Most guys are getting shredded by it. Their focus cut into 1,000 pieces before lunch. But the man who's mastered solitude, he's got a weapon nobody else has: the ability to focus like a sniper. Solitude is where real work gets done. It's the only way to access what psychologists call flow state, that zone where you're so locked in that hours feel like minutes. In flow, your mind operates at maximum capacity. Your attention becomes surgical. Problems that would stump most people unravel in your hands. You're not just working, you're dominating. Everyone else is stuck on the surface, reacting to whatever hits their screen next. They're fighting fires, checking boxes, looking busy. They never go deep because they can't. They've lost the ability. You shut the door. You kill the notifications. You bring every ounce of mental horsepower to the work that actually matters, the complex, high-value problems that separate you from the pack. Think of it like this. Scattered attention is a flashlight. It lights up everything a little bit. Focused attention is a laser. It cuts through steel. The modern workplace wants you scattered. It needs you reactive, distracted, and weak. Solitude makes you the laser. It lets you build, create, and solve at a level that's impossible when you're constantly interrupted. While everyone else is drowning in shallow work, you're going deep, and that's where the real game is won. This power bleeds directly into decision-making, and that's where most men get destroyed. Every major decision you face is drowning in noise: what your boss thinks, what your colleagues expect, what society says you should do. Everyone's got an opinion, and most of them are driven by their own fears and agendas, not what's actually right for you. Solitude cuts through all of it. It's a clean room for your mind. When you're alone, you can see the situation for what it is. No emotional pollution from the group, no panic from people who don't have skin in the game, just you, the facts, and your instincts. You weigh options based on your principles, not someone else's anxiety. The Stoics got this. Seneca wrote, "Withdraw into yourself as far as you can. Associate with those who will make a better man of you." That first part, withdraw into yourself, that's where the magic happens. In that withdrawal, you find clarity. You make decisions that are actually yours, not some Frankenstein monster assembled from everyone else's opinions. This is what separates leaders from followers. Real leaders aren't weather vanes spinning with whatever direction the wind blows. They're lighthouses, standing firm, shining from a source within. And that inner light, it's built in solitude. Here's the bonus. It makes you bulletproof. When your self-worth is tied to external validation, your boss's praise, your coworker's admiration, you're fragile. One piece of criticism can crack you. But when you regularly spend time alone, building your confidence from the inside, you become unshakable. Your foundation isn't built on what other people think, it's built on what you know to be true. You learn to trust your own judgment. You develop what Warren Buffett calls an inner scorecard, a way of measuring yourself that doesn't budge when the crowd changes its mind. This is the guy who can take real risks, who can innovate without needing permission, who can handle pressure that would flatten most men. Why? Because his foundation isn't built on the shifting sands of public opinion, it's built on the bedrock of self-knowledge. Here's the twist. In a world obsessed with collaboration, the man who knows when to disconnect becomes the most valuable player in the room. He doesn't show up with noise. He brings sharp ideas, clear thinking, and a calm that steadies everyone around him. He's done the brutal work in private, so when he goes public, he's operating at a different level. That's the advantage. You retreat. You forge your thoughts in deep focus. Then you return with insights that guys stuck in the noise could never touch. Creativity isn't magic, it's a process. And that process needs the right environment, somewhere free from judgment, interruption, and the dead weight of what everyone else thinks is acceptable. That environment is solitude. Solitude is where new ideas grow. Neuroscience made more sense of this when it was discovered that when you're alone, your brain shifts into what's called the default mode network. This is where you make connections nobody else sees, where patterns emerge from chaos, where breakthrough thinking happens. Nikola Tesla, the man whose mind literally invented the electrical age, said it best. The mind is sharper and keener in seclusion and uninterrupted solitude. Be alone. That is the secret of invention. Be alone. That is when ideas are born. Look at the giants, the ones who actually built something that lasted. Proust wrote his masterpiece from a cork-lined bedroom in Paris, soundproof from the world. Nathaniel Hawthorne spent over a decade in deliberate isolation after college, reading and writing in obsessive focus. That period built his entire career. George Orwell retreated to a remote Scottish island to write, needing distance from London's demands. These weren't hermits afraid of people. They were men who understood something fundamental. To create anything truly original, you first need to disconnect from everyone else's voice. Think of your creative mind as a deep well. Social interaction keeps you drawing from the surface. Small talk, polished personas, safe ideas. Solitude is what lets you drop a bucket into the dark, quiet depths. That's where the strange stuff lives. The unconventional, the ideas nobody's thought of yet because they're buried too deep for most people to reach. In solitude, you've got freedom. You can experiment without someone judging you. You can follow weird trains of thought. You can ask what if 1,000 times and chase ideas that sound insane at first. You can be messy. That mess, that's where breakthroughs come from. In any field that demands innovation, engineering, marketing, art, business, the person who can generate genuinely new ideas has massive leverage. Teams are great for refining what already exists, but that initial spark, that almost always happens in one person's head, alone. It's the guy who takes a solo walk at lunch, who shuts his door for an hour of pure thinking. He's the one who comes back with the idea that moves everyone forward. Don't misunderstand, collaboration matters. It's critical. But the best collaboration happens when people show up with something real to contribute. Solitude is where you build that. It's where you do the deep, imaginative work that lets you bring more than recycled opinions to the table. It's where you find your voice. Picasso said it perfectly. Without great solitude, no serious work is possible. He understood the rhythm. Retreat to create, return to share. But beyond all the practical advantages, the focus, the decisions, the creativity, solitude offers something even more valuable. The path to self-mastery. Solitude is the mirror that shows you who you actually are, stripped of every mask you wear for the world. In silence, you face one unavoidable question. Who am I really? Every day, you're playing roles. Son, partner, employee, friend. You're following scripts society handed you before you were old enough to question them. It's easy to lose yourself in all that performance. Easy to forget who you are when nobody's watching. Solitude is putting the script down. It frees you from expectations. It forces you to confront your actual self, your thoughts, your fears, your values, without anyone else's judgment clouding the picture. This is where emotional intelligence is built. When you're alone, you can watch your emotions move through you like weather. You can trace that flash of anger back to wounded pride. You can dissect that anxiety and find the fear hiding underneath. By sitting with these feelings instead of running from them, you learn to understand them. And what you understand, you can control. That's self-mastery. Not having no emotions, that's psychopathy. Self-mastery is feeling everything deeply without being owned by it. The man who's mastered this, he's unshakable. He's calm when everything's falling apart because he's already faced the chaos inside himself and come out the other side. The Stoics lived this. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man on earth, in his time spent his mornings alone, writing to himself, interrogating his own mind. He wrote, "People look for retreats for themselves, in the country, by the coast, or in the hills. You can get away from it anytime you like by going within." He knew the real sanctuary wasn't a place. It was a well-ordered mind. This inward work builds unshakable confidence, not the fake kind that needs constant feeding from others, real confidence. The man who needs constant praise is fragile. One harsh word and he crumbles. But the man who's spent time in the fire of solitude, who's faced his flaws, tested his values, and come out knowing exactly who he is, he's built from different material. His confidence doesn't come from being told he's great. It comes from the quiet certainty that he can trust himself, that he'll handle whatever comes. That's self-reliance. That's what lets you forge your own path. Build relationships from authenticity instead of desperation. That's freedom. Freedom to be authentic. When you're not afraid of your own company, you stop fearing the world's disapproval. You can speak your truth even when your voice shakes. You can live by your principles even when it's the harder path. You stop contorting yourself into whatever shape you think others want, and you start becoming who you're actually meant to be. This isn't selfishness. This is building a self-worth offering to the world, one that brings real strength, presence, and integrity to your relationships, your family, your community. Now, how do you actually do this? Understanding this is one thing. Living it in a world that never shuts up, that's harder. Embracing solitude is rebellion. It goes against everything the culture demands: constant connectivity, perpetual availability, endless performance. It takes intention. It takes discipline. Here's how to start. Step 1, reframe it. Stop treating alone time like you're doing nothing. Solitude isn't emptiness, it's presence. It's productive. It's necessary. Think of it like charging your phone. You wouldn't run your battery to 0 every day and wonder why you can't function. Solitude is maintenance. It's sharpening your tools. It's consulting with your most trusted advisor, yourself. Step 2, start small. You don't need a cabin in the woods. The revolution starts with 15 minutes. Find your slot. Early morning before the world wakes up. Lunch break. Late at night, carve out 15 minutes where it's just you. No phone, no music, no podcasts, nothing. Just your thoughts. Step 3, practice. Journaling is powerful. Writing forces clarity. It untangles the knots in your head that you didn't even know were there. Or try intentional movement without stimulation. Go for a walk but leave the headphones at home. Let your mind wander while your body moves. You'd be shocked what surfaces when you give your brain permission to think freely. That unlocks a different kind of thinking. The kind that leads to breakthroughs. Schedule it. What gets scheduled gets done, period. You book time for meetings that don't matter. Book time for this. Protect it like it's sacred, because it is. This might mean saying no to things. It might mean telling your partner or family you need space. That's not selfish. It's self-preservation. It's what allows you to show up as a better, more present version of yourself for everyone who counts on you. Find your balance. The goal isn't to become a hermit. Solitude works best when it's balanced with real connection. Solitude recharges you so you can engage with the world at full strength. Pay attention to what you need. Some weeks you'll need more time alone. Other weeks you'll thrive on social energy. The key is moving between these states with intention. Use your time alone to become someone who brings more to every interaction: more presence, more clarity, more authenticity. The bottom line is, we live in an age obsessed with the external. Likes, followers, status displays, the constant performance. They've convinced you that being alone means being left behind. But the truly powerful understand something fundamental. All external strength is built on an internal foundation. Solitude isn't escape. It's going deeper into life. It's not weakness, it's the training ground for real strength. In the quiet, you find focus. In the silence, you hear your creative voice. In the stillness, you forge character. The man comfortable in his own company is a free man. He's not enslaved by approval. He's not tossed around by chaos. He moves through the world with quiet confidence and centered presence that others feel instantly. He's a leader, an innovator, the master of his own soul. Because he's done what most won't, he's dared to be alone. That's the advantage. In a world that never stops talking, the most powerful move you can make is learning to be silent, to turn inward, to discover the limitless world waiting there. If this hits home, share it with someone who needs it. Drop a comment. What's one way you'll embrace solitude this week? Now get to work.